Hey YouTube, Libra Finesse here. Hope all is well on this beautiful day with everyone. To all who are new to my channel, thank you for stopping by. For all who are returning and subscribers, I appreciate the love, the comments, the support. I love it all. Thank you. I appreciate it. Today, I would like to talk about something that I mentioned in one of my other videos. I believe it was Sex Me, Sex You, 90 Day Fuller Rule, that video. I mentioned pre-existing conditions. And, excuse me, no, I'm not talking about medical terms. I'm not talking about pre-existing conditions when you jump from one health plan to the next and that on that questionnaire check the box if you have pre-existing conditions and then specify. We're going to specify here, but we're not talking in medical terms. I'm talking about in relationship terms, in life terms. What are your pre-existing conditions? Can you identify with those, or does it take someone else to point those out for you to have an aha moment? Or when someone points it out, do you even take heed to that? Like, hey, okay, that's something that I'm working on. Because I feel like we all have baggage. It's just how much. You can be like an airline. I'm going to ask, how many bags are you allowing for a carry-on? We're not talking about stowaway under the plane. I'm talking about how many bags are you allowing your person, male or female, to carry on with them? 1, 2, how much are they paying for the extra? If you treat it like an airline. Everybody has baggage. Nobody gets around that. I swear, it's just, hey, if you have a pass, you may have baggage. It's just how you handle your baggage. Is it in freaking grocery store bags, or is it in top-notch luggage? How do you handle your baggage? And when I say baggage, I'm meaning things that come with you from previous relationship, or even childhood demons or early adulthood demons that you have not addressed yet. Like we go through a lot on a daily, on a yearly. We go through a lot, whether it be with our family, our friends, our work, co-workers, whatever, whatever you choose to identify with there. We go through a lot. And how do you deal with that? What is your way of accepting a person's baggage? Because if you have your own baggage and somebody's coming along with their baggage, how do you manage yours and help them to deal with theirs, and vice versa? They're going to manage theirs and help you deal with yours. That's a hell of a thing. And it takes a strong-minded, strong-willed, determined person or persons to accomplish that. It takes work. It takes time. It takes a lot of effort. And if you're not willing to help that other person, you can't expect them to be willing to help you also. That's just how it works. Like, you can't know that you have baggage coming into a relationship and just ignoring that other person's baggage. Like, that's not helpful to them. That's not helpful to you. I've done that before. Got in a relationship, ignored all the red signs. I mean, we addressed mine, but we didn't address the other person's. And I don't feel like his were more than mine, but I feel like both need to be addressed. So how do you address that? Like, moving forward, I feel like laying all the cards on the table is a good thing. I want to exercise in my life. Okay, lay all the cards on the table. This is this and that, this is that. And it's not going to happen all at one time. Things come up over time. And it'll show you like, oh, okay, that's probably a little baggage that he had from years before. So it's like, how do you address that? And the sad thing is, if that person that you're dealing with is not willing to address their baggage or handle their baggage properly, it can cause a whirlwind of trouble. Shit can get fucked up. I'm just gonna put it like that. Just blatantly, just putting it straightforward, because we're adults. Shit can get fucked up when a person can't even acknowledge their demons. They know they have them. They know they have that extra baggage. They can't acknowledge that. That's horrible. And me personally, I wouldn't want to deal with a person like that. But going into a relationship, I have to be honest, we don't look at that. When things start coming up, months down the line, years down the line, we're like, oh, okay, that's something that we probably should address early on, but let's do it now. That's my take on it. We didn't address it early on, let's address it now. Let's get it out there in the open now. And hopefully that person is on board with you and not embarrassed, ashamed, or, gonna feel humiliated. And it's our job, not as women, but as on the receiving end of their baggage, we have to be understanding. We cannot demean that person for what they've gone through, what they put up, or what they still have issues with. We cannot demean them for that. All we can do is help. And when you're in a relationship, a serious one at least, or anything you would consider a relationship should be serious unless it's just relations. But when you're in a relationship, you want to uplift that person. You want to see that person do better, and they should wish the same for you. So I don't really feel like there's room to humiliate, demean, or make that person feel shameful about what they've been through, what they still may be carrying with them. It's not our job to make that person feel bad. It's our job to be like, okay, let's tackle this shit together. Let's do it together. I'm here for you. I don't like when people, and this has happened to me before, when you lay out all your insecurities, your baggage or whatever, and then in the heat of a moment, a person will throw it back up in your face. And that's probably why a lot of people hold things in. They don't disclose those tidbits of information that are also crucial to a relationship, because they're afraid in the heat of a moment, you're going to throw it back up in their face. You're going to make fun of them for the shit. Oh, that other bitch used to slap you upside the head and you didn't do nothing. But when I do it, it's a problem. Yes, because that was 3-4 years ago. We evolve. We grow. You don't want to go through the same things that you went through 3-4 years ago. If you left the person, you don't want the next person doing to you the same shit that made you leave your past relationship. Like, come on now, that just makes all the sense in the world. If that's the case, I've said this many times, if that's the case, I could have stayed where I was. If I want bad treatment, I know exactly what address, zip code, area code, I know where to go for that. I know exactly what street, what city, what state I can go get that in. Obviously, I left that because I don't want that. So that's something to take heed to, people. Take heed to that. Listen to people, hear them out. And the things that they've been through before, try your best not to be that moving forward. I mean, we're all human. We all have similar characteristics and uniquenesses about ourselves that will remind our person that we're with, it may remind them of their ex, or it may remind them of things that triggered them as a child. If a person brings that to your attention, it's your job to be like, okay, I'm going to work on that. Not be like, I'm not saying that person has you in check, or that person's like, you know what, work on that shit. No, we're going to talk about it. And I'm going to work on it. Like, I'm not saying you have to just, oh, sir, yes, sir, type of thing. But if you love that person and want to build a future with that person, how can you build if you're not respecting that person's boundaries, respecting their feelings about certain things? Like, we as adults need to understand that and open up. And women, men have feelings too. They may try to hide them and keep them under a hard shell, but they have feelings too. It's just the way that we approach things. As women and men, we approach things totally different. But when it all comes full circle, it all means the same thing. Your man may say something to you like, you know what, I don't like that disrespect, blah, blah, blah. You may come to him softer when you're expressing to him that you didn't like disrespect. Like, babe, can we talk a minute? Because it's something weighing heavy on me. Each person has their own unique way of communicating. It's just finding that comfort zone between the two of you where you're able to communicate. And sometimes the shit do turn into an argument, not a fight, but an argument or a heated discussion. And people do need to cool off. But it's like, okay, before we get there, before we let that spiral out of control, let's handle this. Like, let's try to approach things differently. Don't be so tit for tat with things, people. Take into consideration the other person's feelings. Like, me personally, I really do my best to put my foot in the other person's shoe, because you don't know it until you live it. And yeah, we can be understanding and we can be sympathetic and everything. But I try to be like, okay, if that was me, let me just turn my whole world around. If that were me in that predicament, that situation, what would I do? And then I really do my best to go from there. Like, what would I do if that was me? Like, of course, no, we're not going to come to the same conclusion a lot of times, but what would I do if that were me? And you know, I'm on the outside, I'm on the inside looking out of that person's perspective of things. And I think that's the best way to do it, because on the outside looking in, you know, shit, I can open the curtain, then, you know, shit is great. You on the outside looking in, but when I close them curtains, it could be a whole different story, and you'll never know because you can't see through the curtains. So be mindful, people. Help your significant other get to the level, actually help each other get to the level that you feel you need to be in a relationship. Help each other, uplift each other, compliment each other, be there for each other. It's easier said than done, I get it, but when you get to that level of understanding, the relationship is just a joyous, a joyous thing. And I'm not saying it's going to be like that every day. Sometimes I have days where I don't feel like understanding shit. I don't want to hear shit. I don't want to understand shit. La, 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 la. That's how I feel. Yes, that's selfish. I fall into my selfish modes at times, but I quickly snap out of it. I go there for a minute and I'm like, okay, let me be the loving, caring Libra that I aspire to be. You know, let me be the loving, caring mother, woman, daughter, sister, friend, cousin that I aspire to be. Be what you aspire to be, people. This Libra Finesse here. Y'all have a good one.